Before I get too far into this particular video, I should reiterate here that I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I purport to be one. I'm also not a financial journalist, and in the interests of full disclosure, because I sometimes get asked this, no, I don't have any in-stock investments and nor do I plan to get any. But if I were to at some point in the future, it wouldn't be in any company that I actively cover on this channel because I would view that as a conflict of interest. That out of the way, let's get on with the video. Unless you are an investment banker, someone with a stock portfolio, or perhaps a financial guru, the chances are you'll be completely unfamiliar with the huge number of acronyms and specialist terms that are used in the financial world. Some, like IPO or initial public offering, are well known outside of that world. Even terms like S-block or securities backed line of credit, something I'll come to later in this video, come up enough in mainstream media coverage for them to be reasonably well understood. Yet last week, Tesla was granted something called a CTO by the US Securities and Exchanges Commission, short for Confidential Treatment Order. It essentially allows Tesla to withhold certain mandatory filings from public record for an arbitrary period of time. But what's the purpose of the CTO that Tesla had just granted to it? Why did it happen around the same time Tesla increased its borrowing by an additional $800 million US? And are the two events linked? And more so, should you be worried about it? I'll start with the first. Under the rules that publicly traded companies must comply with, there's a fair amount of information that must be made public, such as details of quarterly financials, acquisitions, loan agreements entered into, any significant funds raised by the company and how that money is raised, board changes, and any major share sale or issuance. That can also include information prepared for specific investors or more general investor information about future products, production timelines, research and development, and even specifics about pricing. Given that information has to be posted by the company in question and remains part of the records at the Securities and Exchanges Commission, anything and everything usually submitted to the SEC becomes public record, searchable and scrutinizable for anyone willing to spend their time and energy researching it. For journalists like me, SEC filings are a great source of information that might not be easily obtainable through other means. Accurate figures, for example, on Tesla deliveries and production levels are obtained from Tesla's SEC filings. So too is information about Tesla's current investors, bottom line, and total credit line. But if I can see that information, so too can Tesla's competitors, which could use that information to their advantage. Which brings you to the why. Look at the CTO document itself. I'll link you in the show notes, and you'll see that it was granted by the SEC on June 22nd, but it actually refers to two documents submitted to the SEC as part of Tesla's most recent Form 10Q filing as submitted on May 10th this year. And if you're wondering what Form 10Q is, it's the technical term used by the SEC for a quarterly report. You know, the thing that gets everyone excited about 4 times a year because it gives us official Tesla delivery and production figures. When it made its quarterly report in May, there was information contained within 2 of the documents submitted to the SEC that Tesla believes is most likely going to give its competitors an unfair advantage in the marketplace, or perhaps cause some other consequence which would be detrimental to Tesla's financial future. Given the timing, I'm guessing it's information pertaining to the Model 3, lease agreements, and perhaps some possible pricing for the same. Given the SEC, like every other government agency, takes its time to process these requests, I'm guessing it's taken the past month or so for the SEC to grant Tesla's most recent CTO request. And that means it's got nothing to do with the SEC filing the very next day detailing Tesla's increased line of credit. But hey, it's an $800 million credit line, and I promised I'd explain it. So here's a quick rundown on that second filing. For those who don't know, a securities-backed line of credit is quickly becoming a fashionable way for companies in need of extra cash to raise a little extra funds. Since it's a little more flexible than a traditional bank loan, and S-block funds can be used for pretty much anything in the company that's obtaining it. As a trade-off for that extra flexibility, anyone taking out an S-block has to put up some or all of their assets as a collateral in case they're unable to make the repayments. This can't be stock. It has to be something tangible like buildings, equipment, or inventory. S-blocks are a really useful thing for companies readying to bring a new product to market, since they can help a company borrow against what is essentially income from future sales, which is exactly why Tesla has extended its line of credit further. And rather than a loan, where money is paid out in full and then paid back over time, the credit line is a little like a giant credit card. The company can draw from the credit line as and when it needs, up to the maximum amount agreed by its lender. The latest in a long line of credit increases, Tesla's latest $800 million credit line increases its total borrowing credit to $3.825 billion and will help the company survive the next few months as it readies Model 3 for production. Of course, it has to pay some of that back at some point, and obviously Tesla is hoping its Model 3 will help it achieve that in double quick time. How long will it take to repay, though? Well, that's dependent on how successful Model 3 is. Do you agree with my assessment of the CTO and S-block? Do you understand these terms a little better now? And how long do you think it will take Tesla to reach a point where it can pay that massive line of credit back? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to help keep those wind turbines spinning by switching to New Zealand's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. That's it. Thanks for joining me. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and until next time, hug a tree. Bye.